Hello everyone. I'm so glad you've joined me today. Are you ready to make this great card with me? For this card, I used the All Things Fabulous stamp set, and I actually used this image, and this image. I know it looks a little strange, but that's what I used. And I wanted to add some texture, so I pulled in my Very Versailles for the words over here. I haven't used that in a while and I like it. So let's get started. All right. First thing I need is a piece of Whisper White, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to start with Real Red ink. So what we need to take and do is we're going to take that solid flower image and we're going to ink it up. Now this is really dark. And we're going to stamp it once here, and then we're going to move up and stamp it again. So you're doing a second generation stamping. Then we're going to stamp one here and move down here and do another second generation stamping. That's the flowers. To do the inside, we're going to move that out of the way. We're going to use our memento. And I have this one, and I don't know how it works, but to me there's a flat side. That to me says it's the bottom. Not sure if it is or not, and I'm just putting it over the center and looking through it and stamping it. And then I'm doing the same thing, doing a second generation stamping for the other one. And if it's off a little, it's okay. You know, it's a flower and they're not perfect in nature either. So now it's time to do our leaves. So I'm going to do Mossy Meadow and that leaf stamp. And oops, hold on a minute. When you do this, you don't want to get ink down here, and I totally forgot that. And that way you don't have to worry about it going into your flowers. So you're going to stamp it once, and then I'm just going to move around and stamp it again. So I'm doing that second generation stamping also. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to stamp it once, and I'm just going to twist it a little for a second generation. And then this one's kind of hidden. Oh, I did it again. Oh, darn. You guys do that? You get talking and forget what you're doing. I don't want to ink up that stem. There is one up here, but you can't really see it a whole lot with the ribbon, but I'm going to add it in anyway. All right. And that's what happens when you stamp and you don't go, it doesn't use the whole, the stamp hangs off the edge. You get a little bit darker piece, but that's okay. It's a handmade card. All right, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to do this one and do it again. And then I need some more down here. I need one here. I'm just kind of going through and seeing where I need them. And then I want some here, but I want it second generation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp it on a piece of scratch paper, and then I'm going to stamp it once and then stamp it again. So that way it kind of goes with that light flower. Now it's time to take and add some other colors in there. It just seemed flat to me. So what I did was I pulled in crushed curry, and this is full strength. There's no second generation. So again, I'm not inking up that stem, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to add some pieces or some leaves. Now this is going to look different than the first one because I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not ever able to stamp it the same way. All right, and there it is. I was happy with that. So I'm going to close up my ink pad. And I wanted a real red, and I don't have the real red satin ribbon from the annual catalog. But what I do have is I have this cotton real red. So I'm going to use that. So make sure you check your supplies. Don't feel you have to use brand new stuff because you see a card that does. Use what you have. I mean, we all have. I'm going to wave this a little bit. I can see that the yellow is still, it's better. There was a spot where the yellow was still wet a little. So check out your supplies and use what you have. That way you have more money to spend on other things. All right, now I added tear and tape to the back of this because I always sandwich my ribbon between sticky tape, and I said tear and tape, but it's double-sided tape. So again, use what you have, and I'm watching my top, and I'm going to make sure it's even, and I'm going to stick it down, and then I'm going to add another piece of double-sided tape on top. That way I know that that ribbon is not going to go anywhere because it's sandwiched in between, and I push down really good on the ribbon. All right, I'm going to move that and bring in my card base, which is real red, and all the measurements and the supplies I used will be on is in a link in the information section below, and you can go check it out and get all the information so you can pull out whatever flower stamp set you have and make your version of this. All right, now I've got to add some glue to the back of this. So let me a minute to put some glue on here. All right, and I'm gonna add my, oh, I forgot my background. Oh, darn, darn, darn. Okay, I'm going to be able to do this, but it's going to take some finagling. So let me get some Post-it notes. All right, so for down here, so I don't get it on the red, I'm going to put a Post-it note. I'm going to pull in another one here so that it doesn't do that. And I'm going to take my memento again. I kept thinking it was missing something. You know, it happens. And I don't want this dark, so again, I'm going to pull in my scrap paper. I'm going to off-stamp it. Make sure I've got it the right way. And I'm going to stamp it one time there, and it's crooked, but that's okay. I just have to watch that. And now to do the piece up here, what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to put this piece here, this piece here, and then this one's going to be a challenge. So what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to take my Post-it note, and I'm going to cut that, oh, it's got to be narrower. I'm going to cut a piece of the top of it to kind of go over it and protect it. So just an interesting way to fix it, and it may get on there slightly. All right, so let's see if I can do this one now straighter. All right, I was so intent on making sure I off-stamped it that I totally missed that it needs to be straight. Not bad, not bad. Nobody will ever notice that. And if they do, you know what? They're not card worthy. That's how I look at it. All right, so I'm going to move this off of here. And now I'm going to take my ribbon. I'm going to tie a bow. like so. The other thing you do is with a card like this is send it to somebody who really loves you, because they don't care if it's straight or not. So cut my ends. If it really bothers you, redo it, but it's not bothering me because, all right, this is my front. I always interview my ribbon to see which way I want it to go. All right, so there's that. And there's that. And I put a glue dot on each side of the knot. This one catches it somewhat because I want to make sure that those ends don't get pulled out. And there's our card. And don't forget, do the inside and the envelope so that it takes your card, it just kind of gives, it finishes the card for you. I hope I've inspired you with today's creation. Pull your supplies out. Give it a try. Have you signed up for my newsletter? There's a free gift if you do. It's a box tutorial. Don't miss out. I hope you will visit me again. Have a great day.